This is the Sony 85mm F1.8, and is this the best value lens you can buy for the Sony full-frame system? Yes, it is. So what do I think this 85mm is a no-brainer from Sony? Well, right now, it's on sale for $550 at B&H. Regular price, it's $600. And when it comes to full-frame glass for Sony, that is quite inexpensive. And seeing how this little lens punches way above its weight, it's a really good deal. And let me tell you a story, all right, about why you should get an 85mm f1.8. When I got my Sony a7 III, it came with the kit lens because that was just an extra $100 more or something like that. So I said, yeah, let's get that kit lens. And I'd take some pictures, and then people would say, oh, those are pictures. Nobody was impressed with anything, because what people, when they think of fancy photos, what they're thinking, I'm not talking about photographers now, I'm talking about your everyday morons, you know, your family, your friends, you know, idiots. When they think of a nice picture, what they are thinking about is a blurry background and somehow their Cheeto-eating face looking good in front of that blurry background of the bokeh. And so what this lens does, because it's a short telephoto lens, it's flattering to most people's features. It kind of thins them out a little bit at that focal length. Of course, this all depends on where you stand, but if you're shooting regular portraits, the 85mm is usually very flattering to the human face. I don't know about chimpanzees. If you're doing chimpanzee photos, I can't help you out. And yeah, you can get a G Master lens, an 85mm f1.4, and that's going to have even a blurrier background. It'll look like you're standing in front of mountains of cream corn and be so blurry back there, no one will know what the hell is going on. But the fact is, to get that little extra bit of bokeh, you have to have a big, heavy lens. Now, it is a better lens, and it's going to look better overall, but not that much better. Like, the price difference is not really justified, in my opinion, and some other people's opinion, if you look at, you know, some side-by-side comparisons. Jason Vong did a nice comparison of the G Master versus this lens, and I thought this lens held up very, very well. Now, of course, if you've got the money, if you're Johnny Moneybags, go buy the heavy G Master lens, but I like the size of this thing. Look, it balances nice on the little camera. It looks good. I like it when my lenses look good. And it's got this little switch here, the autofocus, manual focus. I think that's really essential on a Sony camera because, you know, the menus and the button layout is not so great. I'm on a Panasonic GH5 that I'm filming this with. Button layout, fantastic. Menus, fantastic. Way to go, Panasonic. It also has a focus hold button, which you can assign to something else, like eye autofocus, something like that. Handy to have here. It only weighs 371 grams, which is about 13 ounces for you people in the United States, so it's not a bad lens to carry around all day. I like compact lenses. I like compact bodies. It's nice on the hand. So I'll take you outside and you can get a sense of the lens and the background bokeh, how it works. And here it is. Here you can see it's very nice bokeh in the background and nice and sharp. The lens is really quite nice, and the focus breathing is not too bad. If you take a look at this, there's some focus breathing, so you might not want to use it on autofocus. You might want to stick to manual focus so that you can keep it where it is and the screen won't be wobbling around a little bit. And then you might think to yourself, hey, you wouldn't use this lens for video, it's too far away. And that's not true. There's lots of times I will use this lens when something is that distance away that I'd like to film, like at the comedy clubs where I often shoot. The 85mm is actually perfect from the little platform where they let you put the cameras to the stage. 85mm is exactly what I use, so I use this lens for video as well, and I'm very happy with that. But really, this is a portrait lens, so you're going to be taking portraits of the people, and you're going to want to impress them with your fancy little camera. So let's go into Lightroom and take a look at some of the photos I've taken with this lens. So now let's check out some snappy snaps here. Some of these are portrait shoots and some are just casual. This is one of my son in a park. Nice bokeh in the background here. And this is a comedian friend of mine. I did his headshots and he looks nowhere near this handsome. So, I mean, look at what this lens can do. This guy is a troll, you know, normally. But right here, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is my sister and one of her kids. She has a bunch, so I'm not sure on the name of that one. And right here's a rustic. I call this rustic wagon. I was at some kind of farm with my family, so I took this picture. But you see, because you don't always have to shoot a portrait with an 85, man. You can back it up a little bit and get some interesting shots. And this is actually a shoot I did for a family. I don't know this child, but they hired me to shoot some pictures of them and their kids, and you know, I think it turned out pretty nice. I used the that's them again there. I used the 85 exclusively for this shoot, and it turned out pretty well. Here's another comedian friend of mine. It's another headshot. It's Mr. Brian Hope, very funny comedian. Even though he's scowling at you, he's a really nice person, really nice. This one's in black and white, so you know it's artistic. This is a cat. Do you like cats? Look at how sharp that cat's eyes are, eh? Look at all that blurry background. The only thing in focus is the cat's dumb face. Oh, what a dumb cat. That's my cat, and she's dumb. But you like dogs? This is not my dog. I took a picture of this dog because it had a sweater on. It had a purple sweater on in the park, so I just took a picture. It's not the best picture in the world, but I figured I'd throw it in there for a little levity. And this is another one of my children. I like the bokeh in the background. I like how sharp it is. I like the way that the skin tones look. And the piece de resistance. Boom. Look at that guy. Oh my goodness. Are your hearts all aflutter? What a picture. This is what I'm talking about. You know, when people want to see a nice portrait, I think that this lens, regardless of how ugly your face is, I think this lens will give you the best shot at looking like an actual human being. Now see, for $600, I don't think you're going to find a better lens for the Sony system than this thing. You're going to take your little snapshots with this fairly cheap lens, and people will say, ooh, are you the next Ansel Adams? And I know he didn't take a lot of portraits. I don't care. Shut up. Now for the drawbacks, it has no optical stabilization, but there's stabilization in this A7 III, and I find that I get sharp photos with this thing all the time. I have no issues with that. Now they say it's weather resistant, dust resistant, and moisture resistant, but I wouldn't take this out in a monsoon. But I have had it out in the rain, and I've had no issues with it so far. So there you go. You want a fairly inexpensive lens that makes your camera finally look like a fancy camera. I think you go with the 85mm F1.8. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more fabulous content like you just watched. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, give it a thumbs up. We'll see you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.